Konnichiwa artists. Today we are going to talk about artist Yayao Kusami. She's a Japanese artist who is currently living and creating art, and she makes these amazing polka dot installations. Basically, it's the entire room is covered in polka dots, so you can see several examples of her artwork on the screen. And here, I want you to note down here in a mirrored room, she actually used pumpkins as her inspiration. And so that's what we're going to base our artwork on. We're going to create a pumpkin piece based on Kusami's mirrored room. Now I'm going to switch over to my camera. So you'll want to either start on a purple or orange piece of paper. And this is going to be a super basic project. We're going to do a contour drawing of a pumpkin first. So the very first thing we want to do is make our outside shape. So it's going to be kind of like an oval and take up a considerable amount of our paper. It's okay if it's not perfect because no pumpkins are perfect. Then we're going to draw our contour lines. I always start in my center, and it's going to be almost like an ellipses or a sideways eye. And then I'm going to add another layer to my left and another layer to my left. And then I'm going to come back and do the same thing on my right side. One on my right and another on my right. Now if I want to clean up those lines down here, now would be a great time to do that. I'm going to actually turn my paper sideways so you can see how I do this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go down and back up. Down and back up, down and back up. That's just going to kind of make it look a little more 3D. So I'm going to do the same thing on all of these segments. Fill that area in. And it's going to make it look just a little more round. Okay. If I want to do that same thing on top, I can. I'm not going to because I'm happy with the way it looks on top. I am going to add a stem though. If I want to make a 3D stem, I'm going to make an oval as my first step, and then I'm going to make a line that comes down from one side of my oval and another line that comes down from the other side of my oval. Alright, now that's my super basic contour pumpkin. The next step is I'm going to start adding my polka dots, just like Kusami does. So for this step, I will need very basic supplies. I'll need a very small amount of liquid tempera, a Q-tip, and a toothpick, because we're going to want two different sizes of our polka dots. I'm going to make sure that my Q-tip is nice and clean, so I want the cotton to be wrapped really tight. I don't want it to be loose. Okay, so I will start by dipping my Q-tip, and I'm going to make polka dots right down the center of each of my segments. So this is a printmaking technique. Even though it's paint, this is still considered printmaking because I am using my tool to press and make a mark. I'm going to come down this side. And I'm just using my tool until it runs out of paint. Oop, I don't like how those polka dots turned out, so I'm going to redo them. Alright, at the top I'm not pressing all the way because I don't want those dots up at the top to be as wide. The harder I press with my tool, the wider my polka dot is going to be because it makes the cotton expand. So I'm just barely going to press up at the top here, and then I'm going to press a little harder as I come down where I want my dots to be larger. Like so. I'm going to wrap my way around. Alright, now I'm actually, since I'm a righty, I'm going to flip my paper around this way because I don't want to accidentally dip into some of the paint that I've already applied to my paper. So you'll notice my Q-tip is kind of getting a little messy, so I just kind of wrap it, get the cotton back under control. Like so. Alright, and I can make as many polka dots or as few polka dots as I would like, since this is my project. Kusama uses a whole lot. She often uses black polka dots, and she uses lots of different sizes. So I'm actually going to introduce a different size tool. I'm also going to go in with a toothpick, which is going to be a little tricky. The one thing that I do want to do, I want to break the tip off my Q-tip because I don't want it to be quite so small, but I don't want it to be as large as the Q-tip. So this is obviously going to make much smaller polka dots. I want to be really careful when I get the paint off my palette that I don't poke through my palette. And I'm just adding as many as will fit in between my larger polka dots. Like so. And then if I want, I could also come out here and I could add polka dots to the outside as well. So I could fill in each of my segments in a similar manner, as many polka dots as I would like until I completely fill up my space. And that's how I will create a Kusama contour polka dot pumpkin. Happy creating!